Welcome to Unpolished Gem, where I'm going to be sharing with you my go-to recipes. They're simple and delicious. Welcome back to Unpolished Gem. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a homemade chicken gravy, and it's going to be from the pan juices left over from roasting my never fail roast chicken recipe. A gravy is a perfect way to finish off your roast. Pour it all over the veggies, the meat, the potatoes, and it is just so delicious. And the reason why I love homemade gravy is because it is so flavourful. Nothing beats homemade, and I promise you it is so easy to make, and it's really cheap to make as well. I like to serve my gravy in a gravy boat like this, and everyone can help themselves at the table. So a gravy is made from the pan juices left over from when you've roasted your meat. So you can use this exact method for after you've roasted a lamb, after you've roasted chicken, after you've roasted turkey. So it's the same method every time, which means as soon as you've learnt this method, you can make gravy from all the different cuts of meat that you're roasting. So let's get started, and I'll be showing you exactly how to make the gravy from start to finish.
So here's your list of ingredients that you're going to need, followed by your method, which you may find helpful to screenshot for later reference when you're cooking along. All you're going to need is the dish you cooked your chicken in and a whisk, and it's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes. So my two recipe tips are to make sure you whisk your flour in gradually and cook this recipe on a high heat. So we're going to put our pan onto a high heat. We want that to come to a nice boil, and we're going to have our whisk, our flour, and our tablespoon ready next to us. So this is bubbling away nicely, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to gradually whisk in my flour. I'm being cautious to add this gradually. I don't want any lumps. And you can see here I've got this still on a high heat. I want it bubbling rapidly. So I'm just going to continue doing this until I've added my 2 tablespoons of flour. And you can see the colour is darkening, which is caramelizing this fat and intensifying the flavour, which is exactly what you want. Now this is looking fantastic, and just remember that your gravy likes a high heat, so this bubbling away is perfect for gravy. Now that flour is all whisked in, I'm going to add the water and simply whisk together those flavours. This is not a crucial step, you cannot stuff this up, just whisk everything together. You'll see I've still got some onion in my pan from when I roasted my chicken, and I like to keep this in there. It adds additional flavour and makes my gravy chunky, but if you don't like that, you can just discard it. Now I have some roast chicken left over on my chopping board, and if you ever have any left over, just put it into your gravy. It adds additional flavour and is delicious. So I'm going to stir that in, and I'm just going to bring my gravy back to the boil. We want it bubbling away nicely like this. So now I'm actually going to taste the gravy before I season it with salt and pepper. Every gravy is different and varies. We just need to make sure it's not too salty before we start adding any additional salt. It may not need salt, and only you can tell that. So have a taste before you season it, and then you can add the salt and pepper as required. Give it a mix. Bring it back to a nice boil. We want it really bubbling away here because we're letting all that steam evaporate out, which allows it to thicken and intensify in flavour. I'm going to leave that now for 10 minutes to simmer away, and then your gravy is almost done. Beautifully simmering away. There is your gravy. It is so much darker in colour now. It's so glossy, it's just beautiful, and the smell is incredible. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a small knob of butter, and this adds flavour and shine. Whisk in that butter and see that gravy instantly transform and become a lot shinier, and then your gravy is complete. Now that is the most beautiful, rich coloured chicken gravy that you can serve. Never be afraid that making gravy is hard. That was so simple, it's so easy. Pour it all over your roast chicken or leave it on the table for your guests to do it for themselves. It is so flavourful, so easy, and you can see how cheap that was to make. Nothing beats the flavour of a homemade gravy, and I've really loved sharing this recipe with you. Glossy, shiny, so delicious. I really love making homemade gravy, and I hope you give this a try at home.
Thanks for watching my homemade chicken gravy recipe. If you have liked this video, please like and subscribe to my channel because I'll be posting a lot more. I hope you've loved learning this method, and just remember, as soon as you've learned this once, you can apply this to every roasting meat. So it's a simple technique, and once you've conquered it, you can make it with every other meat that you roast. So that is a great skill to have in your back pocket, because a homemade gravy is always a favourite in every house, and I hope you give this recipe a try. I'll see you next time on Unpolished Gem.